If you've been hearing the words somatic, nervous system regulation, nervous system dysregulation, somatic healing, and you have no idea what the heck these words mean because they just feel like buzzwords to you, we're having a conversation to break down what somatic healing is for beginners and how it is a game changer in your healing journey. Now, somatic healing supports your mental, emotional, physical, energetic, spiritual wellness, but oftentimes we're kind of rushing, doing many things all at the same time, but we skip the somatic piece of it. And all somatic means is soma, body. It means from the body, healing from the body. And we try to do a lot of healing from up here. We're very analytical, we're analyzing, we're systematic, we're linear logical, we're doing a lot of affirmation work, we're doing cognitive mindset, up here. And while that has its time and its place, and while that has its value, that is only just one piece of the puzzle. The rest of the healing actually happens in the physical body, and that's where somatic healing comes to play. Before we go too far into the conversation, I do want to give you a disclaimer that most somatic healing should be done with a trained practitioner. It's not something you just go do by yourself and it's like, oh, I'm moving my body and like letting the emotions come, because once the emotions come, you do need somebody to help you integrate what happens. And sometimes it can actually feel really scary to experience things moving in your body that you're not used to, or you're feeling, a little challenged by. So this kind of conversation, I have to tell you that most somatic practices should be done with a trained practitioner who knows how to, one, lead somatic facilitation, and also knows how to help you integrate what comes up when it does. But if we don't know each other already, hello, I'm Shanila Sattar. I'm the founder of Flow Breathwork Facilitator Training and the Healing Arts Academy, where I train sound healers, breathwork facilitators, and I mentor aspiring healers. I'm a speaker, I'm a women's researcher, I'm the author of a book called Breathe, and for the last 10 years or so, I would say I've been working in somatic healing in some capacity, one way or the other. The first thing to know about somatic healing is that it is the practice of connecting the mind and the body. Now, we said that a lot of us like to do our healing work up here, whether it's self-development, whether it's trauma healing, whether it's self-improvement, whether it's personal development, whether it's your self-love journey. It doesn't matter, whatever kind of healing you're doing, we often like to do it up here. And we're very linear about it, we're logical about it, we like to analyze, we like to, dissect, and we like to relive kind of the same stories. We like to, micro examine what happened and what's gonna happen. And we like to be up here, which is absolutely normal. It's very human of you, but there is a time and a place for that. And the rest of it actually needs to be processed in the physical body. Because when there is a disconnect between what your mind is thinking and what your body is feeling, is just not talking to each other. There's a disconnect in the communication. And somatic healing basically says, how is it that we can get these two characters to talk to each other? So I can be shouting affirmations to the mirror all day long and say like, I love myself, but if in my physical body, I don't believe it, I don't think it's true. And like, as I'm saying these words, I'm like, I really hate myself. I don't care about myself. I really don't believe the words that I'm saying. There's a dissonance between what you're saying, what you're thinking, and what you're actually feeling. Now, somatic healing is to say that let's work on this feeling as well, because yes, maybe you start with those affirmations and eventually your body starts to believe it, or vice versa. You start with the feeling in your body and eventually you're able to say it out of your mouth and really truly believe it. Or it could be a collaborative journey, whether you're saying like, yes, maybe I'm saying things that I don't really feel just yet, but how is it that I can also amplify this feeling in my physical body to match what it is that I'm saying? So oftentimes when we're doing healing work, and affirmations is a great example because it's the easiest one to pick on, but sometimes when we're on our healing journey and we're doing self-development work and we want to view ourselves as abundant, or we want to view ourselves as, this one way, or we're working on a habit that we're trying to improve upon, we are not necessarily able to hold that feeling in our physical body. So somatic healing is essentially training your nervous system to be able to match what you want to do, match what you want to be, match what it is that you're saying, match all the things that you know linearly, logically up here. Because most of the time, up here is easy, right? Like, you know, that's true. Like, you know, you're abundant. Like, you know, you're worthy of love. Like, you know, you X, Y, and Z up here. But the physical body is the one that says, no, what if I'm not worthy enough to be loved? What if I don't have enough? What if this is a lie? What if that is felt in the physical body? Because emotions, energy and motion process in the body, then they get sent up to the mind for you to create a story around it. So our feelings, the sensations that we have are all the micro things that you feel when your heart clenches, or when you have sweat, or when, you know, your shoulders are clenching or expanding, when your stomach caves in, or when you feel that thing in the pit of your stomach. All of these things are body cues. So your physical body is giving you signals, it's giving you information all the time. And then when you start to match your mind and your body, that's when the true healing starts to happen. It's not just like your mind is, you know, strong, but your body is working against your mind. And it's not vice versa, where your body is like abundant, but your mind is like repeating things that you don't necessarily want to repeat. It's a balance of bringing these two to equilibrium. Is to say, how do I bring my mind and my body, and where is that beautiful dance with me? Where is that beautiful dance that allows me to experience flow and ease on my healing journey? The second thing to know about somatic healing is that it's not this like one practice. There's so many different ways that you can connect to your body. You can literally talk to your body. You can dance. You can move. My favorite is breathwork, because I'm a breathwork facilitator. I train hundreds of breathwork facilitators in movement and dance and in energy sciences. So that's my favorite. But any way that you can allow your physical body to have expression. So most of us have some kind of stories about like the way that we feel about our body, the way that we move our body, but the body, as we said just previously, holds emotions, energy and motion. So there may be certain things that you're holding on to that you don't actually even know that you're holding on to. And this can be because you feel a certain tension of life and you're holding that on your shoulders. It might be because you experience heartache or grief and there's some kind of clenching that's happening in your chest. You might be feeling really disconnected to your creativity or your intuition, in which case that's going to clench in your stomach. You might feel some, heaviness or weight in your lower back, and especially in the hips for a lot of women if you're feeling fear. So emotions are actually held in different parts of the body, and the way that you can release emotions is so many ways. So the best thing to do when you're hearing the word somatic healing is to say, what kind of movement is going to support me? Am I a dancer? All right, let me add dancing into my regime of healing. So I'm not just like thinking and affirming and like writing in my journal. And that also has its time and a place, like I keep saying, right? But it also is like, how can I add the sensations that I want to feel from what it is that I'm writing? So if in my journal I'm writing that, like, 2 years from now, I want to be, I want to feel this way. I want to feel like I can travel and I can do this, and I have these kinds of friends, and I have this kind of love in my life, and I have X, Y, and Z, like whatever that is. How is it that you can move your body to give you the sensation that already exists? How would you be moving if you felt that you didn't have to move if you didn't have to worry about finances all the time? How is it that you would feel and walk around if you felt that people cared about you and you had friends who love you and support you? How would you feel if the love of your life was here? So moving around your life in that way is a part of somatic healing. Your body is matching the feeling that you want to call into your life. That doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, you have to move your hand this way and then you have to do this, and then that means that money's coming your way, or like if you move your neck this way, that means like you're manifesting this thing or that thing. It's like it is, but it isn't. So you intuitively understand that your body asks for certain things when you want to feel a certain way. So if you want to feel excited, then go shake, 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 shake. If you feel angry, maybe also shake, 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 shake. There's also grunting, right? Like the vocal piece of that there is too. Maybe it's you're scrunching your face. all of this is in the physical body, right? It's like you're not having to think when you're angry. You just are. Like this is you're clenching your hands. Your body is activated. Your chest might be activated. Your face is activated. There's all these different things that are happening that you're not having to think about. So when you start to do somatic healing, you might find that one thing works better for you than something else, or you might not know anything works for you. So it's best to try a couple of different pathways. Of course, inviting you to breathwork. I'll leave you some resources in the links so that you can practice breathwork with me. And there's also lots of different breathwork on my YouTube channel. But you might also realize that connecting your music to your movement is like the jam. Perhaps you like a certain type of music that maybe it's not something that you listen to, but drumming or like tribal drumming like really gets your primal energy going. Or you might realize that you like very ambient music or flow music that gets that spirit out of you. So all in all, rounding down this point is to say that somatic healing doesn't look one way or the other. It is this wide umbrella to say, how is it that you're involving your body in this process of healing? The third thing to know about somatic healing is that there's many things that you can actually experience from doing a somatic healing session, whether it's breath work, whether it's dancing, whether it's movement, whether it's a different kind of activation. Now, this brings me to my disclaimer, which is that most somatic healing is actually done with a practitioner, because it's not really just like, oh, we shook for 3 seconds and we're good. That can be like a personal practice, but somatic healing sessions are often 45 minutes to 1 hour long, because it's triggering your nervous system to get very activated, and it's helping you create support and safety within that trigger, and then it's helping you bring your nervous system back into this equilibrium. So in that moment where you're getting very aroused, where you're getting activated, your body is going to want to quit. Your body says, let's abort, let's get out of here. This feels uncomfortable because I'm finally feeling some things that I might have been repressing, or I'm feeling things that I didn't know I needed to feel, or there's certain things that are coming up that I feel really uncomfortable experiencing right now. And all of those things are part of the healing process, right? So you hear things about shadow work, you hear things about releasing and letting go. This type of work allows the things that are in your subconscious to arise. So physically, you might feel heat, you might feel cold, you might feel shaking, you might feel energy movement. You might also see colors. You might also feel like you're wanting to shake and it's like kind of uncontrollable. It's just like coming out of you and you're not necessarily like controlling that movement. You might also have a lot of emotional challenges come up during a session. And emotional meaning not necessarily a challenge, I take that back. You might have emotions come up that feel like, wow, I was wanting to cry, but I didn't actually know how to cry. Or I've been wanting to scream, but I feel like I have some kind of embarrassment or shame around screaming. So you finally get out this like cathartic, primal release through your vocal cords. You might also feel a mental shift in a somatic session where you're just connecting that mind-body connection, like where that communication is happening. So your mind might be connecting the dots like, oh, I thought it was this. I really analyzed it and I thought it was this. But when that emotion from that body comes up, you're like, oh my gosh, there was something deeper. There was something at the root of what it is that I thought it was. And it totally changes the way that I think about this going forward. So mentally, you might be connecting the dots. Mentally, you might be resisting. That's a big one. And mentally, you might feel a lot of release, that the pressure of having to know everything is gone. You can actually feel through the things that you are not really wanting to think through, or you aren't able to think through. Then, everybody's session is different. Everybody's experiencing in somatic healing is different, because everybody's energetic body is different. So you're holding something different than I am versus the person next to you, versus the person behind you, versus your family members. Everybody's going to have a different session. There's resistance to be expected. There is a huge part of us that wants to keep ourselves safe. So we say like, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. But your body's never really going to show you anything that you're not ready to experience. So the first time or the first 2 times you might be like, okay, like what was this, right? And then you might have a breakthrough, or you might have that breakthrough day 1. Some people have 20 years of therapy happen in one session, their first session. And some people need 5-6 sessions to get through that. So all I'm saying is in the part 1, 2, and 3 that I gave you for somatic healing for beginners is that there's no one way. There's no one experience and there's no one set of experience. And all somatic healing is a way to connect the mind and the body and to help you regulate your nervous system in a way that helps create safety in your physical body, emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically, and spiritually. I hope this conversation helps you to learn a little bit more about somatic healing. And if you aren't subscribed already, definitely go ahead and subscribe. And just remember, the world is your playground. And until next time, I will catch you soon.